Good evening, and I'll ask the lovely Year 7s to my right to stop their chatter. They're very excited. Good evening to all, family, friends, supporters of all things musical. It is my absolute joy to welcome you here tonight to our winter concert at Monash University. For those who do not know who I am, my name is Megan Papworth. I am the head of the Performing Arts faculty at McKinnon, and I'm the one who sent you all those emails. I begin by acknowledging the Bunurong people of the Kulin Nation, traditional custodians of the land on which we gather tonight, and pay my respects to their elders past and present. I extend that respect to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples who are here with us tonight. I'll just remind the student members in our audience that we are in a public venue and we need to be respectful of everyone who is here. So when people are on stage, we are quiet. Thank you. Tonight's gathering is bittersweet, as we not only come together to revel in the magic of music, but we also remember and honour a colleague, mentor and friend who left an indelible mark on our hearts and in our lives. For his colleagues, myself included, it has been an extremely difficult few weeks since his passing, preparing for tonight. We have been challenged to find the joy in the harmonies, passion in lyrics and melodies, and an insistence to move forward with a driving rhythmic force. I would like to take a moment to remember Andrew Jacobs and the impact that he had on the lives on such a large number of double reed students and the staff at McKinnon for decades. His passion for music was only really surpassed by his joy in dealing with students and helping them to develop their own passion for the art form. Thank you for taking the time to be with us this evening to celebrate the amazing musical journey that all of our students have made throughout the year. And may their music making fill your hearts with strength, joy, and above all else, passion. Thank you.
Good evening. I am Sephra Teenstra.
And I am Mabel Green. I'd like to begin by thanking Wonder Brass and the World Music Ensemble for their joyful performances in the foyer. The opening performance this evening comes from the Year 7 Band. The Year 7 Band and Year 7 Strings provide the introduction to ensemble music performance for our most young musicians at McKinnon. Tonight, the band is performing 3 works and will be conducted by Mr. Martin West and Miss Bernadette Russo. Dragonfire is the first piece, a dark and dramatic concert piece for young musicians by Paul Lavender. Combining strong unison melodies with a stirring percussion section, this work highlights the skills that young musicians acquire in their first year of instruction. Dragonfire is conducted tonight by Bernadette Russo.
For their second piece, the band will be performing Aliens in the Attic by Tyler Arcari, and you'll hear what it sounds like to have a family of alien creatures living in your roof space. Presto, the last work, is a musical term indicating the fastest tempo on the metronome. The spirited piece by Robert Sheldon will really test the technique of our band. Let's see how fast they can go. Please welcome the Year 7 Band.
Good evening. My name is JJ Braithwaite.
And I'm Anthony Kostelak. The next performance will be from the Year 8 Band. There are 2 Year 8 bands in operation at East Campus, coming together for tonight's performance. Their director and conductor, Megan Papworth, is incredibly proud of how they have all developed their musicianship, both collectively and individually, over the past few months to create an incredibly cohesive sound. Tonight, they will be performing 2 pieces. The first piece, Meep Meep by Danielle Fisher, was commissioned by the Ian's ISD programs and received its premiere at the 2022 Midwest Clinic. A play on pop culture's representation of a roadrunner, Meep Meep pays homage to the famous Looney Tunes adventure of Willie Coat and the Roadrunner. This fun and quirky piece combines silly and cunning features of these Saturday cartoons with lively and wild nature of the bird that finds its home in the Westlake community. With kitchen sink of percussion noise, mouthpiece sounds, vocals, and glitters galore, this piece captures the spirit of Chappelle's young and old Meep Meep.
Their second piece, Operation Invictus by Amy Webb, is a fantastic piece that allows all instruments a chance to shine. Invictus is Latin for invincible or undefeated. This music moves from a stirring low clarinet melody at the start, which is then played at some stage by all instrument groups. Please enjoy this performance of the Year 8 Band.
Good evening, I'm Sophie Yu.
And I'm Vishaka Venkat. The next ensemble to perform will be the Orchestra. The Orchestra is one of McKinnon's senior ensembles as its members are advanced players, though they are drawn from all year levels. They are directed by Miss Vidian and are ably assisted by Miss Percussion. Earlier this term, they performed in the Victorian School Music Festival at the Hawthorne Arts Centre and received a silver award from the panel of adjudicators. Tonight, they performed two well-known pieces from the traditional orchestra repertoire, both written to accompany theatrical performances. The first is Montagues and Capulets, the first movement to Suite No. 2 by Sergei Prokofiev from his ballet Romeo and Juliet. It opens dramatically with the prince's command to the feuding families to cease fighting on pain of torture, then moves to the scene of the Capulets' ball. We hear the dance of the knights when the Capulets display all their strength and dignity, with a quiet interlude where the ill-fated Juliet flits amongst the crowd, greeting guests, and dances with the prince's cousin Paris, whom she's intended to marry.
The second piece was also included in a suite of what was originally incidental music for a play. Ibsen's tale of Peer Gynt depicts a complicated series of adventures in the life of a young man who is banished from his village in the Norwegian mountains after disgracing himself. In the music by Edvard Grieg, we hear music illustrating the episode where Pierre is invited to become a troll and marry the daughter of the Troll King. He agrees, then regrets the decision and decides to escape, stealing gold and jewels from the troll's hoard at the same time. Although he tiptoes very carefully and quietly, troll guards hear him and start to chase him, find the stolen treasure, and fling him into prison. Please welcome to the McKinnon Orchestra their concert master John Paul Santoso and the conductor Ms. Tracy Vidian.
Good evening. My name is Chinthia Sridhar.
And I am Ashi Kumar. Up next, we welcome the Ovenden Band to the stage. Named after Nancy Ovenden, a previous McKinnon Secondary College music teacher and a pioneer of music education, the band includes students from years 7 to 9 and recently performed at the Victorian Schools Music Festival. The Ovenden Band's first piece tonight is Flying Away by Yukiko Nishimura. Flying Away was one of the test pieces they played at the VSMF. They played last week and received valuable feedback on their performance. The piece was written during the pandemic and reminds the composer of her hometown and how many people were unable to visit their loved ones.
Their second piece is Praises by W. Francis Macbeth, commissioned by a school band in Utah, America, and premiered in 1983. This straightforward and celebratory work with exciting flourishes and big contrasts will certainly end the set with a bang. Please welcome the Ovenden Band and their conductor, James Morrissey.
Good evening, I am Jack Sweeney.
And I am Leonardo Hu. I'd like to begin by thanking the Flute Trio for their captivating Venezuelan folk song, the performance that we just heard. A special thank you goes for the Jesus Camacho Acevedo on the Venezuelan Cuatro. Our next performance tonight is from the Keenan Strings Ensemble. They will be performing the Celtic Lullaby by Keith Sharp and Danse Macabre by Camille Saint-Saëns. Celtic Lullaby is a smooth and gentle rolling piece written in a 3/4 time signature. It's also in a very string-friendly key of D major. Nobody is exactly sure of the origins of the Celtic people. Evidence is rather unclear or incomplete. The earliest written works date from the 6th century, with suggestions that it existed earlier than this recorded date. Enjoy the gentle melodic sounds of the Celtic lullaby. If you fall asleep, then the Keenan Strings have done their job well.
The second piece, Danse Macabre, translates as the Dance of Death and comes from the medieval concept of the universality of death, especially when the Black Plague influenced so many lives. Camille Saint-Saëns wrote Danse Macabre in 1874 and it was premiered 1 year later. The text surrounding the piece describes Death, who appears on the Halloween night. He calls forth the skeletons from the grave to dance with him while he plays his fiddle until the rooster crows. Then the skeletons must return to their graves until next Halloween. Listen out for the 12 strokes of midnight played by the lower strings at the beginning of the piece, and then the discordant interval of the augmented fourth representing the devil. The piece crescendos into a great swell of dancing skeletons before dying down as the new day starts. Please welcome Keenan Strings and their conductor, Georgina Mead.
evening. I am Julia C.
And I am Winston Song. I'd like to begin by thanking the Saxophone Quartet for their amazing performance. We next have senior singers, who are an auditioned ensemble of 19 excellent singers and musicians. They rehearse twice weekly and mostly perform SSATB arrangements of songs ranging mainly from pop and jazz through to music theater and 20th century works. They regularly perform at the Bentley/Moorabin World Day of Prayer service held annually in March, vocal nights, the senior concerts, and tonight, our winter concert. The director, Ms. Blanca West, would like to thank the Captains Safra Tinstra and Mabel Green for their valued assistance throughout the year. With a special thank you to Anthony Kostelak, who organizes the folders carefully at each rehearsal.
Tonight, they begin with Billy Joel's lullaby, Good Night, My Angel, arranged by Mac Huff. It was inspired by his daughter, Alexa, and is a gentle, tender lullaby that is bound to touch your heart. They close with a bright, fast music theater ballad, opening up from Waitress, which premiered in 2015. It is the opening of the musical with music and lyrics written by renowned singer, songwriter, and pianist Sarah Bareilles, and the book by Jesse Nelson. It is based on the 2007 film of the same name written by Adrian Shelley. It tells the story of Jana Henderson, a baker and waitress in an abusive relationship with her husband Earl. There has been a film of the musical made this year as well. Our three waitresses are Safra Tinstra, Jodie Sibethall, Mabel Green, with opening dialogue also by Anthony Kostelak. Please welcome senior singers and their director, Miss Blanca West.
Questions for another day. I think I know what you've been asking me. I think you know what I've been trying to say. I promised I would never leave you, and you should always know. Remember all the
Jenna, what's the special pie today?
Deep fish blueberry bacon.
Deep fish?
Dish. Deep dish. Sorry, Cal.
Come on, girl.
Day starts like the rest we've seen. Another carbon copy of an old routine. Days keep coming.
One out, one in.
They keep coming.
And make that coffee strong enough to chew.
I don't know what I wish I had, but there's no time now for thinking things like that. We've got so much to do,
So much to do. All these same things, they're always opening up, letting the day in. Over a cup, we'll say hello. How you been? Looking around, see the same things every day brings. Hello, how you been? Thank you again. Some things never change.
Some things never change. I wouldn't call this place a happy end, but I've been round the block and just came back again. A small town like ours ain't much, but sometimes home is where you end up.
Ordered up this holiday will find me. Everything in its place and timing. I like the way most of the days look exactly the same.
Waitress, I
Check that clock, tick, tick, tock. Don't stop. Hurry up, fill that coffee cup. And then in a while, take a breath when you need to be reminded that with days like these, we can only do the best we can. Till we do it again. Opening up, letting the day in. Opening up, some things never change. Opening up and a new day. Open to love. Isn't it amazing what comes our way? One at a time, every day falls in line. Learn to love what's on the inside. Looking around at the same things, all of them changing, everything does. Life's rearranging to what's inside of. What's inside of What's inside? Sugar, butter, flour.
Good evening. I'm Ashley Chan.
And I am Mark Mao. At McKinnon Secondary College, we have 4 percussion ensembles: the Year 7, Year 8, Year 9, a Senior Percussion Ensemble. Tonight you will hear the performance from the Senior Percussion Ensemble, and a little later, the Year 7 Percussion Ensemble. On stage now, we have the Senior Percussion Ensemble, directed by Sergei Golovko. They are going to perform 2 pieces.
The first piece, Sweet Georgia Brown, is a jazz standard composed in 1925 by Ben Burney and Maceo Pincard. The second piece, El Combanchero, was composed in 1943 by Rafael Hernandez Marin, who was a leading figure in Puerto Rican popular music during the 20th century. In translation from Spanish, El Combanchero means a fun-loving person, or person who likes to party and have fun. Both pieces have been arranged for percussion ensemble by Sergei Gorovko. Following this performance will be a short interval. Please welcome the Senior Percussion Ensemble.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Maddie Stancheva.
And I'm Sophie Maxwell. I'd like to begin by thanking the Intermediate Stage Band and pianist Ezekiel Sinipa for their wonderful performances during the break. We will begin the next part of our concert with a performance from our Year 7 and 8 Mash Strings. The Year 7 and 8 string ensembles are delighted to join forces tonight in a Mash Strings performance. Under the direction of Miss Claire Bajaya and Mr. Michael Lee, the 143 student performers from across both main and east campuses have worked hard to present two exciting and contrasting works, Gauntlet and Enter Sandman. Gauntlet by Doug Sparta, composed in 1999, is performed in a more traditional music style. The driving rhythmic intensity of the music, combined with its darker modal sounds, creates a sense of urgency and adventure. Like music in the climactic scene of a movie, short repeated motifs are passed among the sections, building tension from start to finish.
Enter Sandman by the American heavy metal band Metallica needs no introduction. Released in the year 1991, the single reached number 16 on the US Billboard Hot 100 and spurred sales for over 30 million copies for Metallica and propelling Metallica to a worldwide popularity. Joined by Aaron Golden on the drums, Sapphire Thompson Sam on the guitar, and Rhapsody Borak on the bass, the Mashed Strings will perform the sinister one-riff song that has been arranged specifically for tonight's ensemble by former McKinnon teacher Baltazar Korofsky. This unique experience of the two ensembles joined together has enhanced the musical growth and confidence to each individual student and is an exciting way to bring McKinnon's two campuses together. Please welcome the Year 7 and 8 Mashed Strings.
everyone, I am Ashley Kumar.
And I am Matilda Ma. I'd like to begin by thanking the String Quartet for their beautiful performance. Our next ensemble is the Wind Symphony, which includes advanced woodwind, brass and percussion instruments from years 9 to 12. They recently performed in the Victorian School Music Festival's Advanced Band section at Hawthorne Arts Centre. They are conducted by Ms. Vidian and assisted by Mr. Morrissey. Fittingly, they will open this segment of the program with a short fanfare called Seascapes by Japanese composer Naoya Wada. Written in 2018 for the Hayatomo High School Band, the music evokes a spectrum of the ocean's different moods, from towering, majestic waves to gentle ripples reflecting the sunlight.
Their second piece, The Earl of Oxford's March, is the first movement of a suite drawn from the music of English Renaissance composer William Byrd, who lived from about 1540 to 1623. Gordon Jacob began composing the suite for orchestra in 1923 to commemorate 300 years since Byrd's death, and was then asked to create a version for mass bands to perform at the British Empire exhibition at Wembley Stadium in 1924. Starting with simple stately theme and growing increasingly more complex, it is recognised as a masterwork of wind band literature. For their final work, Wind Symphony returned to the sea, but it's a different kind of sea. Serpent Sea is the name of one of the dark patches visible on the moon's surface, located on the near side and approximately 150 kilometres in diameter. Thought by early astronomers to be actual seas, the seas of the moon are really plains of iron-rich basalt on the moon's surface, formed by asteroid impact and volcanic activity. In creating the music, Canadian composer Robert Buckley was inspired by the image of two huge winged serpents rising from the waves, frolicking in a wild barbaric dance, ending in a wild flurry as the serpents quickly vanished back into the sea. Please welcome the Wind Symphony and their conductor, Miss Tracy Vidian.
Good evening, I am Yeri Sung.
And I'm Sonali Silva. I'd like to begin by thanking Year 7 Percussion Ensemble for their energetic and exciting performance. Our next performance sees the Chamber Strings, McKinnon Choir, East Choir, and Year 7 singers collaborating this evening to present a major Australian work. They have been rehearsing separately across 2 campuses under the direction of Claire Bujea and Blanca West, and have recently combined to create this ensemble with 112 string players, 1 percussionist and vocalist. Written in 2004, their piece tonight is a murder mystery called Crime Scene Investigation, and it's also a spoof based on the TV show of the same name. The story follows the crime scene investigator on the scene of a murder, where even the audience members are considered suspects. The choral music wins its way through the evidence presented through a textural musical score until the murder is revealed and the mystery is solved.
The composer Katie Abbott is a head of composition at the University of Melbourne and has just recently been announced as a 2024 Composer in Residence for Melbourne Symphony Orchestra. She says, "I wanted to compose something contemporary and fun. Aspects of the choral writing include storytelling in a canon, sweetly singing about gunshots and bloody evidence, narrating the story, dripping with cynicism, similar to the arrogance of those TV investigators who frequent my living room. The sound world includes a freely chromatic pizzicato string opening, conjuring imagery of tiptoeing, Sondheim-esque storytelling through polyphonic melodic superimposition, and the sweet sound of voices espousing upon the grisly mode of death. Thank you to Aziz Sharapov, who is our narrator, Adrian Kozinski, and our guest percussionist Sasha Finn. Thank you to Miss Tracy Vidian for the use of her special double bass bow, and Miss Bajaya for the use of special effects items. Thank you to Mr. Martin West for arranging the music for the SAB chorus and organizing the parts for strings, percussion, and conductor. Thank you to Sefer Tienstra and Mabel Green for their joint captaincy this year of the McKinnon Choir. They have been a tremendous support, and thank you to the terrific main choir accompanist Wesley Moo. Please make welcome the McKinnon Choir, East Choir, Year 7 singers, and Chamber Strings, along with the conductor Blanca West.
Ladies and gentlemen, please do not be alarmed. The danger has passed. This is the crime scene investigator, Agent Kaczynski, and we are here to investigate a murder. While you have no doubt been enjoying the concert, we regret to advise that a killing has taken place. And because of this and the evidence remaining, you are now all considered suspects and so cleared. Please do not leave the building.
Doors have been locked. Building is surrounded. There has been a murder. Somebody was dead. Dead. Somebody was dead. Doors have been locked.
the victim here tonight was the first violinist, the concertmaster. She was shot dead in the head. The killer made some vital mistakes, and we are now examining the evidence. Was it a member of the orchestra? Always coming second? Jealous? Or a choir member, a diva in her right, not wanting to share the stage or the spotlight? Someone in the audience, an obsessed admirer, a grisly trophy for their collection. When admiration turns evil, anything could happen. Was found next to the body. We believe it belongs to the murderer. Their second mistake. Interestingly, DNA testing shows that the blonde hair does not belong to a human. It is a horsehair belonging to a string instrument. A violin, viola, a cello bow. No, the hair came from a double bass bow. But there's a twist. All double bass players and their bows were present here on stage. And not only that, but the hair we found was not worn down where you might expect a double bass player to play. So then, whom? So the mystery is solved. The percussionist is the killer. Why commit such an act? But perhaps you're wondering as to the motive. As it is so often, the motive was revenge. The violinist sabotaged the performance by the percussionist that would have won her the most outstanding musical prize. The violinist won the prize instead, but her lost her life when the percussionist discovered her subterfuge. But is winning such a prize worth such a gruesome death? And is revenge worth a lifetime behind bars?
Good evening. I am Nisha Donna Gabadage.
And I am Ting Ting Sun. The next performance this evening is the Senior Stage Band. The Senior Stage Band consists of senior school students who rehearse regularly once a week during a school term. The band features prominently during the school year, performing in concerts, regional festivals, and community events. Resuming the tradition of music touring, select musicians in the ensemble, along with other senior students, will be traveling on a Japan music tour in 2024. Inspired by the former NBA player Allen Iverson 2002 post-game interview, where he went on to say the word practice 22 times, this piece of pop culture is dedicated to Anthony DeToro. Now legendary rant encapsulated Iverson for all that he was: funny, proud, indignant, and often misunderstood.
Channeling the old Capitol Records arrangements for the great crooners, this vocal number features Jodie Silberthal of Year 12. It serves as a reminder to our own musicians to occasionally indulge in every very important art of practice, and we hope you all enjoy listening to it as much as they did practicing it. Commissioned by Jordan Canner and the Huntington Area High School, Mamba Over the Mountain is a catchy tune built almost entirely on the rhythmic figure clapped in the first two bars. Composer and saxophonist Rick Hirsch got his inspiration driving between State College and Huntington in Pennsylvania. Solos featured Tonya Mikhailova on lead alto, Hayden Collier on lead trombone, JJ Braithwaite on flute, Max Wiseman and Devesh Ajar on drums and congas. Please welcome the Senior Stage Band and their director, Dmitry Sobrianik.
you can't practice, you can't practice. You're hurt, you're hurt. It's as simple as that.
If I can't practice, I can't practice, man. I'm hurt, I'm hurt. Simple as that.
But it ain't about that. At all.
It ain't about that. At all.
You're sitting in here, you're supposed to be the franchise player. And yet here we are, talking about you missing practice.
We sitting here, I'm supposed to be the franchise player, and we're in here talking about practice.
We're talking about practice. You understand me? Practice. Not a game.
Not a game.
Not a game, not the game you go out there and die for.
Not the game that I go out there and die for.
Right? Play every weekend like it's your last, right? No, we talking about practice, man.
And play every game like it's my last. Not the game. We're talking about practice, man.
Practice. You know you're supposed to be out there. You know you're supposed to lead by example. You're just shoving that all aside.
I know I'm supposed to be there. I know I'm supposed to lead by example. I know that. And I'm not shoving it aside.
So here we are, Jamie. We're talking about practice. Not a game. Not the game. We're talking about practice.
We're talking about practice, man. We're talking about practice. We're talking about practice. We ain't talking about the game. We're talking about practice, man. We're not even talking about the game, the actual game, when it matters. We're talking about practice.
He hasn't been at practice as many times as he said practice.
You did it.
There's a lot of time.
No.
Yeah, go ahead.
Good evening, I'm Hannah Cohen.
And I'm Jackson Torres. The final item in the program sees 3 senior elective ensembles, senior singers, chamber strings, and the senior stage band join forces for the final music collaboration.
A soulful hit popularised by Kiki D and Thelma Houston in 1974. This arrangement of I've Got the Music in Me was created by our very own ex-student Andy Zen. Relentless rhythms and lyrical intensity make this a terrific show collector. For the final act of this evening, please welcome senior singers, chamber strings and senior stage band.
Something gets in my way, I go around it. Don't let life get me down. Gonna take it the way that I found it.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'd now like to welcome our esteemed principal, Mr. Michael Kahn, to the stage to help me present some awards.
Thank you, Hayden, and indeed all of you tonight have the music in you. A very, very fantastic, sensational night that you've put on for all of us. I'd like to thank everyone for coming this evening and for your support of our wonderfully talented music students. Music is alive and thriving at McKinnon. I'm sure you'll agree that we've just witnessed an outstanding example of what makes McKinnon such a wonderful school. The standard of performance tonight was exceptional, the best I can remember. We've been entertained with an incredible range of talent and musical ability in the many ensembles who have worked tirelessly to prepare, rehearse and then perform for us tonight. The music teachers and the students who have given so generously of their time, energy and effort have created a magical evening. This is a culmination of months of dedication, discipline and persistence. We are so very proud of the students, families and the passionate teachers who helped make the McKinnon Winter Concert a highlight of the school calendar. I would particularly like to thank the parents and carers who have supported students to participate in this exceptional event. The early drop-offs, the late pickups and all the rehearsals that you've done, you have been part of the McKinnon magic. Please give yourselves a round of applause. To the students, that I hope your love and passion for music will continue to fill your life with joy and purpose. And I sincerely thank you for enriching our lives with your talent. Please give them all a round of applause, including everyone backstage. To the music staff at McKinnon, once again, I can only offer you my heartfelt thanks and praise for the dedication, passion, hard work, commitment that enables our students to shine and thrive. I would also like to acknowledge the incredible backstage team, the teachers and the students who have worked behind the scenes to ensure tonight was a seamless performance. And I think you'll note that the precision of their work was incredibly impressive. Please give them a round of applause. And to the McKinnon staff who've attended tonight, thank you for your dedication and support of our school. Such an evening would not be possible without your assistance in the audience and helping around the venue. I would now like to acknowledge three special and key people in our music program. Firstly, the wonderful Miss Megan Papworth, the head of music. Please give her a round of applause. Absolute stalwart of our fantastic program, and two other very talented and passionate educators, Miss Claire Bajaya and Mr. Dimitri Serebrianic. Thank you for arranging and organising yet another outstanding musical event that celebrates the music program at our school. As you know, tonight we dedicate the evening to Mr. Andrew Jacobs, a much-loved instrumental music teacher who recently and very sadly passed away and left us. Andrew worked at McKinnon for decades and taught and inspired hundreds of students. Andrew was an incredible teacher, musician and friend, and it was an absolute privilege to attend his funeral service at St Paul's Cathedral last week. Before I conclude tonight, I would like to remind everyone that students involved in tonight's performance need to arrive at school tomorrow at recess, ready for the start of period 3. And once again, I thank everyone for your attendance and participation in the 2023 McKinnon Secondary College Winter Concert. Please join me once again in congratulating the music staff and students of our wonderful school.